You don't exist. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who take on my hate. Look at better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of What If Deku Meets Mario Verse. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of the Crimson Yinglet on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Izukumidoriya was in a panic. The exams were nearly over, he hadn't scored a single point and a giant 0-point robot had just appeared. He was about to run with the rest of the examinees when he heard a young girl. It was the girl from earlier that had saved him from falling on his face, and she was about to get crushed by the robot. Midoriya was about to launch at the robot when a giant hole in the sky opened and 5 bright lights came out scattering across Japan. And one was heading straight to Izuku. He put up his arms to defend himself. But, when the item hit him he only felt a light tap. Confused he opened up his eyes and saw a bright yellow star with eyes. He picked it up confused on what this was. Suddenly the robot began to move again and Izuku was about to save the girl when the sky opened up again. But, this time 3 figures came out of it. Mamamia. 2 of the figures, a mustached man in red clothes and overalls and another mustached man with green clothes and overalls, yelled as they were falling to the ground. The 3rd figure, a blonde female with a crown and pink dress, slowly floated to the ground. As they were approaching the ground, the 0-point robot noticed them and tried to attack them. Luigi. The red figure called out. Got it, Mario. The green figure answered back. With that, they corrected their trajectory and dodged the robot's attacks. Mario then proceeded to stomp on the robot's left arm and destroy it. Luigi then stomped on the robot's other arm and destroyed it. Then the brothers came together with Luigi grabbing onto Mario's ankles and they did a corkscrew attack on the robot's head, destroying it as well. When they landed, Mario grabbed the robot and swung it around before launching it into the sky. So long, you big hunk of junk. I wonder if this is how Sonic feels. Mario said, before looking around. Princess. Where is Peach? Mario asked as he and Luigi began to look for her. Up here, you two. Peach said as she slowly floated to the ground. Mario and Luigi held out their hands to guide her down. While they did that, the examinees just stared at them with awe and terror. Who were these people and how did they destroy a 0-point robot with such ease? Yes, the Mario brothers and Princess Peach have arrived in the My Hero Academia universe. What changes will their arrival bring? Who will find the power stars first and what miraculous or disastrous feats will they do with them? Only time will tell. We cut back to the UA testing grounds. The examinees were still in shock at what they saw. First, a hole opens up in the sky and 5 light flying out is strange enough, but for it to open up again and these strangers come out and defeat a 0-point robot like nothing. No way could this be real, it has to be another part of the entrance exam, they thought. Suddenly 2 small yellow orbs flew out from under the mustache men's caps. Mario, Luigi. A power star. They said in unison. Where? They said in unison. Starlo and Starly, the 2 small orbs, pointed towards Midoriya. Hey kid, look, we don't want to cause any trouble. But we need that star you are holding in your hands. Mario said as he slowly walked up to Midoriya. Suddenly a loud crash was heard behind Mario, Luigi and Peach as something had crashed into the ground behind them. Fear not, children, for I am here. Said a towering buff man. This was All Might, the #1 hero in Japan. Now you 3, what are you doing here? And what are your intentions with the children? Peach walked up to All Might, okay look Mr. All Might. All Might was confused at how this woman didn't know him, but then again she did just fall from the sky. Okay, Mr. Might, we have no intentions of harming these children. We are only here for the power stars. Peach explained. Power stars? Yes Mr. Might, like the one that boy over there is holding. Peach pointed to izukumidoriya who was clutching onto the star at this point. So they only want these stars, but why? And what are these power stars? Can these people be trusted? All Might thought to himself. Very well, if what you're saying is true then you wouldn't have any problems coming with me for questioning now would you? Of course not Mr. Might, we will come quietly. Peach responded getting nods from Mario and Luigi. Suddenly Starlo flew in between Peach and All Might. You can't be serious Peach, we need to get the power stars as soon as possible. Starlo shouted. Oh, and who is this little sphere? All Might asked. My name is Starlo you muscle brain jerk. And we are on an important mission to gather the power stars so but out. Oh ho, quite feisty aren't you? All Might teased making Starlo angry. Starlo stop. Peach called out. We are strangers in this world, we must abide by their rules or else we are no better than criminals. But, we were criminals in the world before this. Starlo stated drawing the attention of everyone there. Yes Starlo, but only because that government was crooked and corrupt. We had no choice, not every world is going to be like that. Peach explained. Starlo looked towards Mario for help, but he agreed with Peach on this. Fine. Starlo pouted as she flew under Mario's cap. We're very sorry about her, she can be very direct. Peach said to All Might. No need for apologies, I understand. Now if you'll come with me. All Might started guiding them to the observation building where the other teachers were. But before continuing he stopped in front of Midoriya. Young man, I'll need that star in your hands. Oh, right. Izuku stuttered as he handed the star to All Might. So this is the power star. He thought to himself, as he was examining it he began to glow faintly. What's this? I feel as though my time limit has been extended. No, that I don't have one at all, that my body is back in its prime. He then turned to Peach, I see why these are so important now. Peach nodded with understanding as her Mario and Luigi walked into the building with All Might. Izuku had a million thoughts cross his mind, mostly on who or what are these people and what is that star. He was broken out of his thought process when Recovery Girl, a small old lady, came out examining and treating all the examinees. In the office of Principal Nezu. Principal Nezu, the principal of UA Academy and a small mouse-like person, was sitting at his desk with two heroes at both of his sides. These were Aizawa, the erasure hero who can erase people's quirks by looking at them. And Midnight, the CC heroine who has the ability to put people to sleep with an aroma that comes from her skin. All Might then walks in with the power star and the three strangers that fell out of the sky. Here you go Nezu. All Might said as he put the star down on Nezu's desk. Thank you All Might, and as for you three. Nezu turned to Mario, Luigi and Peach. Please have a seat, we have much to talk about. Mario and his friends took their seats and Nezu was inspecting the power star on his desk. While this was happening Mario noticed the steely gaze from the man who looked sleep-deprived, Aizawa. And, while not as fierce, the gaze of a scantily clad woman, Midnight. Just then Nezu put the star down and began to address the three Mushroom Kingdom inhabitants. Well, after inspecting this star I have come to the conclusion. Everyone in the room listened for his response. That I have no idea what it is. Nezu's comment made everyone face palm. Please take this seriously sir. Aizawa said in an annoyed tone. I'm sorry, just thought I would liven up the mood a bit. But in all seriousness, even if I don't know what this is, we know it fell from the sky just like you three and that 4 more of them seem to have scattered over Japan. So, I would like to know how dangerous these power stars are if at all. Well, Mr. Nezu. Nezu nodded, affirming that Peach got his name right. Yes, the power stars can be very dangerous. If someone can fully utilize their power, they can conquer the world or make a new one. Peach's words shocked the heroes in the room. How could something so small have so much power? That is when All Might whispered something into Nezu's ear. He just nodded. Okay then, we'll definitely make a note of that. Now you three, you have said you are here to collect the power stars, but I cannot entrust such powerful objects to people I know nothing about. So, can we start with your names? Of course, I am Princess Peach, monarch of the Mushroom Kingdom. Midnight raised an eyebrow at her statement. You are the ruler of the kingdom and yet you're a princess? Midnight asked, receiving a nod from Peach. What happened to the king and queen? Oh, my parents sadly passed when I was just a baby. When that happened, my attendant Toadsworth and a council of advisors ran the kingdom until I took over at the age of 15. Peach explained. Oh my, I am sorry about that, Peach. No, it was an honest question and you had no way of knowing. Well, now that your introduction is done, what about you two? Nezu said, pointing towards Mario and Luigi. I'm a Mario. And I'm a Luigi. And we're the Super Mario Brothers. They said in unison. I see, and what are jobs in the Mushroom Kingdom? We're plumbers. Mario answered. Nezu quirked an eyebrow at this statement as well as the rest of the heroes in the room. And is that your only job? No, we also drive race carts during race season, tennis, golf, soccer, all sorts of sports. And we are also licensed doctors as well as carpenters. We do a little bit of everything. And we also save the Mushroom Kingdom from danger whenever we need to. Luigi clarified. Really should have led with that. Aizawa stated. Well, the Mushroom Kingdom isn't in danger all the time, so we decided to lead with our day jobs. Mario said while rubbing the back of his head. If I may interject. Peach interrupted. These two are the greatest heroes in the Mushroom Kingdom. They have not only saved the kingdom, but the world and our universe from destruction time and time again. Peach's statement caused some shock and curiosity among the heroes. With a record like that they trump even All Might, our symbol of peace. Nezu stated. Hey now, this isn't a competition. All Might said. Oh, I'm sure Mr. Might here is very heroic. The way all those kids' faces lit up when you arrived just proves it. Peach said with Mario and Luigi giving a thumbs up in agreement. All Might just rubbed the back of his head while blushing. My, receiving praise from those from another world just solidifies achievements as our symbol of peace. Nezu stated while getting up from his seat. That will be all for now. I will make living arrangements for you three and we will conduct a more thorough interview tomorrow. For now we need to address the interruption of the UA entrance exam. You mean that big robot we destroyed? Luigi asked. Yes, you three interrupted a very important event for our students. Aizawa said in an annoyed tone. Now Aizawa, it was an accident. I'm sure they didn't mean to. Now if you three will follow me. Nezu led the three out of the room and Midnight followed. Before Aizawa could go he turned to All Might. So, what is your impression of those three? Do you think we can trust them? I can't say for sure, but I do not sense any evil intentions from them. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for now. Aizawa seemed to be unsatisfied with this answer, but before he can ask any more questions Nezu was calling for him to follow. After Aizawa left the room, All Might gazed at the power star left on the principal's desk. The power I felt from that star, I truly hope we can trust you Mario Brothers. At Izukumidoriya's apartment. Izuku had gotten home after the exams and was feeling disappointed. Even with the interruption of those three strangers there was no way he had gotten enough points to pass. He was lying down on his bed when he received a call from All Might. Yo young Midoriya, how are you doing? Not so good, All Might. I don't think I'll pass. Listen, thanks to that interruption, those who didn't get enough points will be given a second chance within a week. You should be receiving a letter about it soon. Midoriya's face lit with excitement, before it dawned on him. So if you're telling me about this, then that definitely means I didn't pass. Look, don't focus on that kid. Even without that interruption, I'm sure you would have passed. When that girl was in danger, I saw you were about to move into action, at no benefit to yourself. That right there is the mark of a true hero. Midoriya began to tear up at All Might's encouragement. So better get ready, because for the next week we'll be training your body on how to use your quirk. Yes, sir. In a conference room at UA. Mario was in the room along with Principal Nezu, the same two heroes from before, along with two others. One was a tall, buff man with fangs and wearing a red outfit, the other was a thin man with what looked like a black skull mask and wearing a trench coat. Along with them was a detective, this was Naomasa Tsukachi, and a representative of the Hero Association, a brunette woman who looked to be in her late 20s and had glasses and her hair in a bun. They all sat around the table, Nezu, Tsukachi and the representative having a folder with them. That is when the representative spoke. So, Mario, is it? She asked, getting a nod from Mario. You say that you and your compatriots arrived here to retrieve these items called Power Stars, correct? Mario nodded again. Well, my question to you is why we should let you take them. What proof do you have of your story? Why should we believe you? As of right now, nothing but my word and what happened when we arrived. Mario explained. We can confirm that part of his story. Nezu pulled a remote and pressed a button on it. A large TV came from the ceiling and began to play the events from the UA entrance exam. As you can see, a portal opened up and 5 bright lights fell out, one of them landing onto one of the candidates. Then shortly afterwards the portal opened up again and these 3 fell out. The representative pulled out some papers from her folder and began to examine them. She studied them for a few minutes before she turned to Nezu. While there is proof these 3 fell out of a portal and into the UA testing site, there is no proof of their claims. For all we know, they could be from a criminal organization that made these Power Stars illegally and are trying to cover it up with this other universe. I would also like to bring up the fact that we know almost nothing about them. Their nationality, their quirks, there is still too many unknowns with them. She reasoned. After her explanation, Nezu and Tsukachi began to go over their papers. After a few minutes, Tsukachi spoke up. I do agree that there is still much that is unknown about them, but as shown in the footage, they showed no aggression to anyone besides the robot that attacked them. And they have also been compliant in all of our demands. I believe that they have earned a level of trust with the actions they have shown so far. Tsukachi finished, receiving a nod from Nezu and Mario, however the representative just scoffed. Very well, if they are so willing. Mario, do you mind telling us where you are from? I am from the Mushroom Kingdom. And where is the Mushroom Kingdom located? Next to the Bean Kingdom. The representative just frowned at Mario's answer. Okay, let's try this. On what continent is the Mushroom Kingdom located? Continent? Mario asked, confused at the representative's question. Yes, such as America, Europe. Is it located in South America? Those places don't exist in my world. Mario's response got the heroes and the detective whispering amongst themselves. It's going to be much harder to get him to mess up than I thought. The representative thought. Very well, what can you tell us about this Mushroom Kingdom, Mario? Oh, it is an appealing place. What would you like to know? Let's start with what kind of people live there. Well, the main population is the toads. Excuse me, did you say toads? The representative asked, already picturing a town full of walking talking toads. Yeah, they are small mushroom people. Mario explained, however everyone just stood in silence. Here, I'll show you a picture. Mario pulled out a stuffed well and proceeded to pull out a picture. Everyone looked at the picture and saw a bunch of people with mushroom heads of varying sizes and color. Most were about the size of a child, some were taller and some were shorter. There were also some that could be determined as female based around some makeup and jewelry they were wearing, as well as the fact that they had some hair coming out from beneath the mushroom or some sort of style coming out of it. These toads, Midnight began. Are the mushrooms on top of their heads a hat or? No, it's part of their bodies. All toads are born like that. Mario clarified. Okay then, what are the other kingdoms in your world? Well, there's the Mushroom Kingdom, the Bean Kingdom, Sarasland, the Cap Kingdom, the Sand Kingdom, and there are also other places that are not official kingdoms such as Al Delfino, Evershade Valley, and the Nimbus Land. Interesting, and can you tell us about this Al Delfino? Nezu asked. Oh, it's a appealing resort island that many people visit for vacations. This caught the attention of the representative. Really? Then you must know of the terrible event that took place there a few years ago. She said. Oh yes, a very terrible thing. Everyone turned to Mario while the representative had a look of triumph on her face. I got you. She thought. But I took care of it. Mario said, causing everyone, especially the representative, to gasp at his response. Wait, what do you mean you took care of it? The representative asked. It's as I said. I had to take care of it after all. Wait, how did you know about that? Mario asked. The representative began to fumble through her papers when Nezu spoke up. Maybe you should explain it for us, Mario. The representative glared at Nezu while Mario began to explain. Okay, well, when I went to the island for a vacation there had been an imposter there. An imposter? Yes, there was someone impersonating me and committing crimes while doing so. He even left an M at each crime to further implicate me. And as soon as I landed I was arrested. Everyone was shocked at that statement. Wasn't there a trial? Aizawa asked. Yes. And? What happened at the trial? Midnight asked, although she had a feeling she already knew the answer. They found me guilty. A collective, what, was shared between everyone besides Mario. But, wasn't there evidence of your innocence, Mario? Midnight asked. Oh, plenty. There was the fact that I was personally invited to the island. Also that the imposter was already causing trouble before I had received the invitation. And finally, upon closer inspection, anyone would have been able to tell it wasn't me as the imposter was made of a paint-like substance. And did that change anything? No, they still found me guilty. Mario replied, causing everyone to sweat drop. They were thinking with their emotions rather than logic. I see. Nezu stated as he recomposed himself. And what happened after that? I caught the imposter, cleared my name and helped them repair their island. Really? After they falsely imprisoned you? Tsukachi asked. Because of the imposter their way of life was being threatened, so I can't really blame them for their actions. And when did you catch the imposter and clear your name? The next day. I was sent to clean some of the mess they thought I made and caught the imposter in the act. After seeing two Marios they went from demanding to asking me to help them catch the imposter and fix their island. And you did it? It's what I do. Mario responded to Tsukachi's question. A small smile formed on his face as Mario began to remind him of his friend, All Might. Very well, does anyone else have any more questions for Mario? Nezu asked, getting affirmative no's from everyone. And do you have any questions? Nezu turned to the representative. No, I do not. She fixed her papers as she began to think about the information she got from Mario. Very well, we are done with the interview, Mario. If you can send in your brother then. Okie dokie. Mario gave a thumbs up as he left the room. Afterwards Nezu began to address everyone. Well, what do you all think about our guest? I couldn't detect any hint of a lie in his voice, so either he was telling the truth or he's really good at hiding his true intentions. Aizawa stated. True, plus if his story is true then his actions are very similar to our symbol of peace. Midnight added. I agree. Tsukachi said. While he was speaking it felt very similar to having a conversation with All Might. Tsukachi added as he noted that throughout the conversation Mario never stopped smiling. If I may interject. The representative said, catching everyone's attention. Mr. Tsukachi, is the police force done analyzing that star? No, when they finish I will be receiving a call from the scientists analyzing it. Very well, I say we hold our opinions on these strangers until we find out if they are telling the truth about these stars. Everyone didn't like how distrustful she was of Mario and his friends, but couldn't argue on the side of caution. They were still strangers with many secrets. Just then someone knocked on the door. Come in. Nezu called out. That is when Luigi came into the room and sat in a chair in front of everyone. Before they could even begin Luigi looked around the room trying to find something. Is something wrong? Nezu asked. Yeah, I'm trying to find my dog. Luigi answered. Your dog? We didn't see a dog come in with you. Midnight stated. Well, he's a ghost dog. Luigi answered. Everyone stared deadpan at Luigi's statement. A ghost dog? Aizawa said as his. I began to twitch. Are you okay? Do you need? Aizawa. Your scarf. Midnight interrupted as she pointed towards Aizawa's scarf being pulled by something they couldn't see. Bark. Bark. Everyone heard the disembodied bark before Aizawa was pulled to the table by something he couldn't see. What the? Aizawa said as he tried to pull his scarf away from, whatever it was that was pulling it. Everyone watched as Midnight and Ectoplasm, the man wearing a trench coat, tried to pull Aizawa free from the ghost dog. Vlad, the man with fangs and in red, tried to grab at whatever was pulling Aizawa's scarf, but couldn't grab anything. He then grabbed the end of the scarf that was being pulled. Bark. Chomp. Ah. It bit me. No. Bad dog. Luigi said as he pulled a golden bone from his suitcase. Here doggy. Bark. Bark. Suddenly Aizawa's scarf was released and the dog became visible. Everyone just stared as they saw a transparent dog hop towards Luigi. It did a few commands from Luigi before he let the dog eat the bone and began to rub its belly. Well, I'll be damned, a ghost dog. Aizawa said as he got up. How did you get a ghost dog? Was he a family pet that passed or? Midnight asked. Oh no, I found him on one of my adventures. You see, in addition to my normal job I also do a bit of ghost hunting here and there. Ghost hunting? Yes, I have a special machine designed by Professor E. Gad to catch ghosts. I see, and can we see this device? Nezu asked. Oh okay, just don't laugh. Luigi said as he opened up his suitcase and pulled out what looked like a souped-up vacuum cleaner. Is that a vacuum cleaner? Aizawa asked. No, well kind of, but it's not just a vacuum cleaner. This is the device I use to capture ghosts. Everyone was dumbfounded by this. On one hand, either he's an idiot or he thinks they are, on the other, if this machine really did capture ghosts, what kind of world did these strangers come from? Can we see how it works? Nezu asked. Okay. Luigi then showed that the suction and blow power of the poltergust. Even if it was stronger than the average vacuum cleaner, it still didn't show how it could catch ghosts. And now to show off the key to catching ghosts. The nozzle of the device then switched to a flashlight. This is the straw bulb. It nullifies a ghost's intangibility and invisibility for a short while. The whole room stood in awe at the device. Is there a way you could prove it? The representative asked. I know, can one of you come and try to pet Polterpup? Luigi asked. Aizawa and Vlad were hesitant until Midnight got up. Oh, for goodness sake, I'll do it. Midnight walked up to the ghost dog and attempted to pet it, only for her hand to go through. Now watch. Luigi said as he shined the light on the dog until it began to shine. Now try petting him. Midnight attempted to pet Polterpup again, only this time she was successful. As she was petting him, Polterpup gave happy tail wags. Ah, he's such a good dog. Aizawa and Vlad grimaced at that comment as their first impressions were that Polterpup was not a good dog. Incredible. Nezu was impressed by this device. Tell me, Luigi, does it only work on ghosts or can it also take away the intangibility of someone who has a similar ability? Luigi began to scratch his chin in thought. No idea, I've never tried before. Do you mind if we test this out? Nezu asked, receiving a thumbs up from Luigi. Nezu-san, what are you planning? The representative asked. You'll see. Nezu pulled out a phone. Hello, yes, can you send in Mirko please? Thank you. After about 15 minutes a knock at the door is heard. Come in. Nezu said. The door opened revealing a tall blonde young man wearing the UA school uniform. You called for me, principal sir. Yes, Mirko, please come in. This is Mirko Togata, one of our best students. Mirko, if you would be so kind as to use your quirk on your upper body. Oh, okay. Mirko's shirt then proceeds to fall through him. Mirko's quirk is called permeation, it allows him to become intangible. Luigi nodded, understanding what Nezu was going to ask of him. Now if you could, Mr. Luigi. Luigi then shined the light on Mirko until he began to glow. Now Mirko, try to use your quirk to move your hand through the table. Mirko then proceeded to try and do that, but found that he couldn't. Huh. But my quirk is active. Wait. Mirko then took in a deep breath. Wow, it's like my quirk doesn't exist anymore. What is that light? Oh, it's the straw bulb. It helps me catch ghost. Really? Now that is interesting. Indeed it is. Nezu said, getting everyone's attention. Well, now that we know it can work on living beings and ghosts, you are dismissed, Mirko. Oh, is that all you needed? Yes, Mirko, you may return to class. Nezu said. With that, Mirko put his shirt back on and bowed to the teachers before leaving. Now with that test out of the way, let us continue with the interview. Nezu prompted Luigi to take a seat. The interview continued, with most of the questions being the same as what they asked Mario and Luigi, giving similar answers. Until they got to the events of Al Delfino. Alright, now on to the incident that took place on Al Delfino. Nezu pulled up a notebook, going over a checklist. Oh, you mean when Mario got arrested? Luigi asked, receiving a nod from Nezu. Yeah, when he told me about that I couldn't help but laugh. It was pretty funny how he was arrested almost as soon as he landed. So you find pleasure in your brother's misfortunes? Aizawa asked. No, it was just a little funny how his vacation turned into another adventure for him. I love my brother and would never wish harm on him. Luigi clarified. I see, and you said he told you about this? Midnight asked, receiving a nod from Luigi. You weren't there with him when it happened? No, Mario got the invitation, not me. Well, that's surprising. From what Peach told us, you both are the greatest heroes in your world. Yes, well, I'm not as famous as Mario. Or that was until some of my more recent adventures. Oh, so now you are starting to get some recognition for your work? Nezu asked. Yep. But it wasn't always like that. Before I was always in Mario's shadow, most people didn't even know my name and would call me Green Statch, Greenie, or even Green Mario. Luigi stated while rubbing his forehead. Sounds annoying. Aizawa said. It was, but Mario would always correct people and tell them my name. He always gave me his full support whenever he could. Sounds like a good big brother. Luigi nodded at Aizawa's response. Well, does anyone else have any more questions for our guest? Nezu asked. Everyone shook their head. Alright then, you may go Luigi, and please send in Miss Peach. Luigi nodded and left the room. Well, do you have any objections for them? Nezu turned to the representative. So far no. Their statements so far seem genuine, but I will still hold my opinions until this final interview with the princess and the results on that star. Speaking of which. Tsukachi interrupted. Just in case they are telling the truth about these stars, has the Hero Association already taken measures to retrieve them? Yes. The representative fixed her glasses, she then pulled out 4 pictures from her folder. We have sent 4 of our best heroes to retrieve them, Endeavor, Edgeshot, Hawks, and Mirko. Just then there was a knock at the door and the representative quickly put away her files. Come in. Nezu said, prompting Princess Peach to enter. As she walked in, she carried an air of regalness around her, however it wasn't as though you couldn't approach her. She also had an aura of kindness, and her bubbly smile made everyone feel at ease. Even the representative for a few seconds before she collected herself. So, Miss Peach, you say you are a princess? The representative asked. Yes, I am. Peach answered. And you are the ruler of your kingdom? Yes. What happened to the king and queen? I don't think we should. Midnight tried to interject, but was stopped when Peach held up her hand. No, it's okay. She's here to ask questions and get information correct. Then it's fine to ask, anyone would be curious. Peach's words caught everyone by surprise. They were impressed by her strength to talk about something so painful without so much as a tear and to handle it so elegantly. And as for your question, miss. Peach turned to the representative. When I was a baby, my parents passed away unfortunately. And until I was the age of 15, my attendant Toadsworth and a council of advisors ran the kingdom. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. If I had known. No, it's okay. You are simply doing your job, there is nothing to be sorry about. The representative was beginning to be impressed and liked Peach the more they talked. Well then, let us continue, Princess Peach. No need to be so formal, just Peach is fine. Peach seemed to be gaining more points with the representative, even more now. Much to the amusement of the heroes. Very well, Peach, let us begin with Mario and Luigi. What is your relation to them? Oh, they are my close friends. And are they just your friends, or are you something more? Peach began to blush. Well, that is a personal question that doesn't really need to be known right now, does it? Right, sorry about that. Now then, let us continue to the other questions. Such as the infrastructure of the Mushroom Kingdom. The interview continued at this pace, with the representative asking Peach a series of questions about the lands in her world and the importance of the power stars. But, unlike Mario's and Luigi's interviews, the representative looked less like someone trying to interrogate someone and more like she was speaking with a friend. Alright then, I have no more questions, Peach. The representative smiled as she tidied up her papers. Okay, does anyone else have any questions for Miss Peach? Nezu asked. Everyone shook their heads. Very well then, you may go now, Miss Peach. We have much to discuss. Peach bowed and left the room. Aizawa then turned to the representative. You seem to be less suspicious of Princess Peach than Mario and Luigi, Miss Representative. Is there a reason why? She appeared to be more sincere than the 2 men, Mr. Aizawa. Really? Is she being biased towards genders? Aizawa thought. Regardless, I believe we have all the information we need to make a decision on our guests. Now all we need is the report on the star. Nezu stated. And right on cue, Tsukachi's phone began to ring. Hello. Yes. I see. Very well, I will let them know. Thank you. Tsukachi then hung up his phone. Well? What did they find out? Aizawa asked. Plenty, but most importantly that our friends from the Mushroom Kingdom weren't lying. The reports show that the star has a seemingly limitless amount of power. Everyone was taken aback by this information. I see, then it is imperative we retrieve the other ones as soon as possible. Nezu said. Miss, what are your opinions on Mario, Luigi and Peach? Nezu asked the representative. Based on my findings, I have determined that Mario, Luigi and Peach are not threats and should be granted permission to retrieve the Power Stars. However, the Power Stars, as long as they are not in the possession of the Hero Association or someone trusted by the Hero Association, are to be deemed a high danger probability. As Peach has explained, the Power Stars do not care for good or evil. They will obey the will of any who possess them. These words brought a shiver down the spines of everyone in the room. Despite All Might's efforts, there were still some unsavory characters, hidden in the shadows, that they definitely did not want to get the Power Stars. Then let us hope the heroes are successful in collecting the Power Stars before anyone else does. Now, what will you be reporting back to the Hero Association? Nezu asked the representative. That, in my best judgment, the visitors should be allowed to collect these Power Stars and head home. Also that we form an alliance with the Mushroom Kingdom and have them share some of their advancements with us as well as help in the training of any future heroes. Is that wise? Aizawa said, drawing everyone's attention. Japan would risk making enemies with the rest of the world. We would have access to a land that uses the Power Stars like batteries, and we would have the instruction and support of heroes that far outclass All Might. Let's not forget the political waves All Might created with his appearance. Many countries asked for his support, some, such as America, even asking he move there permanently. That is why it is merely a suggestion, Mr. Aizawa. It will be up to the higher-ups and the Prime Minister to decide what to do with this alliance and if we do pursue it. And if I may add, All Might's appearance inspired many heroes from other countries as well, including America's #1 hero Stars and Stripes. I believe this alliance may have a similar effect. The representative then left the conference room. While you do bring up good points, Aizawa, it would be best to leave that to the Hero Association right now. We should concern ourselves with our guests. Nezu explained. Yes, we need to figure out where they will be staying for now. Midnight added. Already taken care of. I have taken the liberty of buying the house in front of UA for them to stay at for the time being. Oh really? And did you use the UA budget for this? Yes, and no need to worry, I have already cleared it with the Hero Association. We will iron out the finer details tomorrow. For now, can you show our guests to their new living quarters, Midnight? Yes, sir. Midnight replied respectfully while leaving the room along with everyone else. On a small island on the outskirts of Japan. A motorboat drives up to the island and a rabbit-like woman jumps out. This is Mirko, the rabbit hero and rank 6 hero of Japan. She was sent here to retrieve the Power Star that was tracked here. Now where could it be? She said in frustration. Suddenly she heard some rustling from the bushes. She instantly got on guard and checked the bush, but only a bird flew out. Just a bird, she said to herself. As she was about to head back to her boat to call the Hero Association, dark tendrils shot out and grabbed her. She struggled as a dark cloak floated from behind a tree and got closer. Why, you, take this. She yelled as she struck out with an axe kick. But to her horror, her kick phased through the cloak and all she heard was laughter coming from it. My, you are strong, female and have rabbit features. It's as if you were made for me, my dear. Now hold still. The cloak said as it wrapped itself around Mirko. She could only scream in pain as the cloak's essence invaded her body and mind. After a few minutes, Cursa was reborn with a new body. She walked up to the motorboat with the Power Star she had collected, and in a flash of the light from the star the boat was transformed into a spaceship. Now I must find new allies in this world, but first I will make a new base of operations far above the sights of Mario. she said to herself as she took off into space. In Principal Nezu's office at UA. Mario, Luigi, and Peach were sitting in front of Nezu. This time though there were no heroes around this time. First of all I would like to thank you for your patience with us. I know you must be eager to collect the power stars and head home, and rest assured we are doing our best to expedite that process. Nezu said. Thank you Nezu, but I couldn't help but notice that you are not with some bodyguards this time. Peach said. Oh, they're not bodyguards, they are teachers and heroes who work at this school. However, since I am the principal of the school and we had no idea who you were, it was best for two of them to stand by in case things got messy. But you have proven that we can trust you, and the fact that I am here alone with you three hopefully proves it. Oh my, we are grateful for your trust. Peach bowed along with Mario and Luigi. You are most welcome. Now on to what I wanted to talk to you three about today. I trust that Midnight escorted you three to your new living quarters yesterday. Yes, she did. I must say Nezu, I am quite surprised by your generosity with such a house. It makes us feel as though we are taking advantage of you. Oh, do not worry about it, but we would like to ask for your help. Help with what? Mario asked. Well, if we are not successful in obtaining these power stars before someone of malicious intentions does, we would like you to help us with this threat. Of course we will help with that. It's our fault the power stars ended up here in the first place, so it's only natural we would help you. A smile formed on Nezu's face upon hearing those words. Thank you Mario. Now the other thing we would like you to help with is in training some of our students. During your interviews you stated that you have gone on many adventures and gone through many fights against horrible villains, correct? All three of the Mushroom Kingdom inhabitants nodded their heads. Well, we would like you to use that knowledge to teach our students. Mario, Luigi and Peach looked at each other and began to think. Well, I have no problem with it. But I don't think I would make a good teacher. Luigi said while rubbing the back of his head. Oh, you wouldn't be full-fledged teachers. You would help in the more practical parts of our curriculum, such as rescue training, combat training and such. Would that be okay? That would be excellent. Luigi exclaimed, happy he wouldn't have to grade papers. Wonderful. Nezu exclaimed. Now on to the next piece of business, here you go. Nezu gave Mario and his friends credit cards with UA on them. What are these? Mario asked. These are cards that are connected to the UA budget we set aside for you three. Now don't go overboard with them. Oh no, we couldn't accept these. Peach said, trying to give hers back. Do not worry Peach, besides I don't think your currency would work here. Nezu said. Peach thought on this for a moment until an idea formed in her head. She whispered into Mario and Luigi's ears and they nodded in agreement, and each of them put 10 gold coins onto Nezu's desk. Are these the gold coins you use for currency? I wasn't expecting them to be so big. Nezu said, shocked at the size of the coins. Yes, please accept these for all that you have done for us. And if there is any leftover after repaying what you spent on us, please put it into our accounts. Peach explained. Well, if you insist. Nezu said, setting the gold coins aside. Now on to the final piece of business. Aside from you three, there are others who will be staying with you, correct? Mario nodded and Cappy revealed himself. Hi. I'm Cappy. Thank you. Nezu wrote down Cappy's name on a piece of paper in front of him. And what is your species, Cappy? I am a Bonitor from the Cap Kingdom. Bonitor from the Cap Kingdom, got it. Nezu said as he grabbed another piece of paper. And the others? Starlo and Starly flew out. Yellow, hello, I'm Starlo. Yippee, howdy, I'm Starly. And we are Star Sprites. They said in unison. Starlo and Starly, and you two are Star Sprites, okay, got it. Nezu then grabbed another piece of paper. And finally this little guy. He gestured to Polterpup who was sleeping in the corner of the room. Oh, he's Polterpup and he is a ghost dog. Luigi explained. Alright then, and that should do it. Now then, you three are allowed to explore Japan at your leisure, so long as you follow the rules and laws all citizens abide by. That means that, even though your powers are not registered as quirks, no using them in public unless absolutely needed. The Mario group nodded in understanding, remembering the explanation Midnight gave them on how, unless licensed, quirks are not to be used in public except in self-defense or self-preservation. Good, then I will be calling you on these if we get a lead on the stars or you are needed. Nezu then handed Mario Luigi and Peach smartphones. Thank you Nezu. Peach said. Good, then you may go and thank you once again for your cooperation. With that Mario and friends left. At a beach at the far end of Japan. It has been 4 days since Mario and his friends arrived in the world of Quirks and Mario was taking a stroll through Japan with Starlo while waiting for a call from Nezu. Luigi and Peach had left to do their own exploring and after activating the smartphones Nezu gave them, they made sure they had each other on speed dial. Ah, Japan is quite lovely, isn't it Mario? Starlo asked. Sure is. Makes me wish we were here on vacation instead. Mario replied. Yeah, hey is that? Starlo suddenly flew off where she saw All Might with the same kid who caught the power star before. All of a sudden All Might poofed into a skinny person while coughing up BLD. No way. She shouted as she flew back to Mario. What was that? Midoriya asked. No idea. All Might replied, before he turned back to Midoriya. Alright young Midoriya, we are going to continue with body strengthening exercises today. Are you ready? All Might asked. However Midoriya was staring at something behind All Might, his mouth agape in shock. Young Midoriya, what's wrong? Midoriya pointed behind All Might. When he turned he saw what had shocked Midoriya. Standing at the top of the steps towards the beach the two were training it was Mario and Starlo. Ah CRP. All Might thought as he turned away, hoping the two strangers would just continue on their merry way. Of course he wasn't that lucky. Hello. Mario called out. Ah, yes hello there sir. Don't mind us, just helping this young man with a problem he's been having. Really? My name is Mario by the way. What's yours? Mario asked as he extended his hand to All Might. Oh, it's Toshinori Yagi. Pleasure to make your acquaintance Mario. Yagi replied as he shook Mario's hand. So that's your real name? What do you mean? What other name would I have? All Might. Mario said, causing both Yagi and Midoriya to start to panic. Oh come on now. All Might is big and buff. And I'm just a skinny nobody, stop being silly now. Yagi said while waving his hands in a dismissive fashion. Don't lie now. Starlo yelled. Then an image was projected from her star antennae of what she saw. It showed All Might in his buff form before he shrunk down into his skinny form while coughing up BLD. Yagi and Midoriya could only stare in shock and their mouths agape at the fact that they were caught. Yagi finally came back to his senses and rushed up to Mario. Listen, I need you two to keep this a secret okay? Please, it's best if no one else finds out about this. Yaga pleaded. Mario and Starlo nodded while giving a thumbs up. Yagi breathed a sigh of relief before he looked around to make sure no one else was around. Follow me and I'll explain everything to you. Yagi said. Mario and Starlo followed Yagi and Midoriya to a secluded part of the beach. Once there, Yagi explained everything to Mario. His injury, how he got it, the secret behind his power, one for all, and how Midoriya was next in line to inherit this power and responsibility. Mario and Starlo pondered on this information, before they nodded to each other and turned to Yagi and Midoriya. Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. Mario said while giving them a thumbs up. Thank you, Mario. Now there is another reason I am telling you this. Yagi said. Is it to help in training Midoriya? Yes, I read from the reports that you are the greatest hero from your world. So, will you please help me in training young Midoriya? Yagi asked while bowing his head, shocking Midoriya. Hey now, no need for that. I'm more than happy to help. Mario's response made Midoriya and Yagi smile. Mario then pulled out a warp pipe and a power star. Is that one of those power stars I heard about? Yagi asked. Yep, I got these from the last world I went to. Don't worry, I've already went over it with Nezu and the Hero Association. We will hang on to the power stars we already possess and wait for what your Hero Association decides to do with the ones here in this world. Mario explained. Okay then, what do you have planned? Midoriya asked. Mario then used the power star on the warp pipe, and in bright and blinding light the warp pipe had changed from a green color to blue with white lines going through it. Mario then threw the pipe on the ground, which grew into a full-size pipe able to fit them all. And he put away the now drained power star. Let's say go. Mario said as he jumped in. Midoriya and Yagi followed suit as they climbed in and were sucked into the pipe by an unknown force. Suddenly they came out into what could only be described as an endless blue void. Welcome. I come to this place whenever I feel like I'm getting rusty in my athletics. We'll be spending a week here to help you, Midoriya. 1 week. But the makeup exam is in 3 days. Midoriya exclaimed in panic. Don't worry, while we will be spending a week in here, only about an hour will pass by outside. Mario explained. Midoriya and Yagi were shocked about this revelation. Really, then maybe we should spend more time in here to help MSTR your quirk, Midoriya. Yagi said. Sorry but no. Do you know how much power it takes to bend space and time like that? The power star only gives us 1 week. Mario explained. Right, sorry about that, Mario. No need for apologies, Yagi. Now let's get to work. Midoriya, can you show me your power? Midoriya did exactly that and powered up to where his arm glowed. Mario watched for a while before he waved at Midoriya to stop. After that, Mario examined Midoriya's arm and noticed that there was minor damage just from powering up. So, you think your body is still not ready for this power? Yeah, which is why we were focusing on bodybuilding exercises. Midoriya explained. While there is some truth to that, I also believe it's because of how you use your power. Mario's statement confused Midoriya until Mario pulled out a stress relief doll filled with water from his suitcase. Okay, Midoriya, now imagine this doll is you. This is what you're doing. Mario then squeezed all the water into the arm of the doll. You're forcing all that power into only your arm. As you can see, just your arm is not enough to hold it and eventually it will break. Mario then released the pressure, allowing the doll to get back to its normal shape. Instead, spread out the power and let it flow throughout your body. Also try not to use it all, use only what you can handle. Midoriya was shocked at this revelation. Why hadn't he thought of that before? Of course, if he forced all the power into just his arm it would break, but if he spread it out and only used what was needed, then he wouldn't risk destroying his body. Judging by that look on your face, I think you're ready to go again. Yes, sir. Midoriya responded. Okay then, let's say go. Mario ordered, prompting Midoriya to power up again. But this time he let the power flow throughout his body and at a percentage he can handle. He did this by imagining an egg in the microwave being heated thoroughly, but at a low temperature. I think I got it, Mr. Mario. Good job, Midoriya, but just Mario is fine. Way to go, young Midoriya. Yagi said while coughing out some blood. Midoriya then powered down. Why'd you stop? Mario asked. Oh, because I don't need to the power right now. Midoriya's response got Mario thinking. Hey Midoriya, how do you use your power? Well, I activate it when I need it. Like when I need to punch or put power in my legs to jump. And would you be able to activate it if a villain were to get the jump on you? Well, I think I'd be able to react in time. The second those words left Midoriya's mouth, Mario jumped at him and threw a punch at his face. Mario stopped it right in front of Midoriya's face while Yagi and Midoriya just stood in shock. Too slow. If I was a villain, you'd be dead. Well, it's because you surprised me. Midoriya said in his defense. Okay then. Mario said as he walked back to his position. I'm going to attack you. Are you ready? Yes. Midoriya got into a stance. 3, 2, 1, go. Mario shouted as he jumped at Midoriya. Midoriya was powering up, but Mario's fist was already in his face before he was finished. Still too slow. Mario said while pulling back his punch. Midoriya began to look down in defeat. Now don't get discouraged. Just think of your power as extension of yourself. I mean, do you turn your nose off when you don't need to smell anything? Once again it clicked in Midoriya's brain. Mario's right, instead of only turning on his power when he needed it he should keep it on. And finally, Mario began to jump. I have the strength to punt a castle that weighs 61 million tons through the air. Do you think I'm using that same amount of power to jump right now? Mario asked as he stopped jumping. No, if you were then there would be massive destruction and shockwaves right now. Midoriya reasoned. Correct, only use what you need for movement. Then at the moment of attacking up the power. Whoa Mario, I know I asked you to help, but shouldn't Midoriya figure some of this stuff out on his own? It wouldn't be training if you just handed him all the answers. Yagi said. I know, I'm just giving him the beginner's guide on how to use his power effectively. It's up to him now to refine it and push past his limits. Mario replied, receiving a nod from Yagi. All right then, do you think you can put all this information to use, young Midoriya? Yes sir. Midoriya replied to Yagi. Mario then placed his hand on the warp pipe leading out. Suddenly the blue void changed and the group was surrounded by an endless, bottomless pit. Then, just as suddenly, an obstacle course appeared in front of them. This obstacle course consisted of various platforms, pitfalls and spinning orange bars. Okay Midoriya, your objective is to get to the flagpole at the end of the course using everything you've learned. Mario explained. Right. Okay, start whenever you're ready. With Mario finished explaining, Izuku powered up and began to traverse the obstacle course. He was doing well, until he got to the midway point and hit one of the orange bars and disintegrated. Midoriya. Yagi screamed. Hey, calm down, look. Mario grabbed Yagi and pointed to the warp pipe where Midoriya appeared. Oh, thank goodness. Yagi said in relief while he clutched his chest. Think of this world like a giant video game. If you die, you are merely sent back to the beginning. Both Yagi and Midoriya nodded at the explanation. So Midoriya, do you want to try again? Midoriya nodded and attempted the obstacle course again. He failed a few more times, but eventually got it. Mario then changed the layout and had Midoriya go through it again so he can get used to using his power. After a few more courses it was determined that Midoriya could use 10% comfortably and can push it up to 15%, but any more would cause some strain on his body. Alrighty then, good work. Mario said as he pulled out a pocket watch. And we still have 3.5 days left. Really? Midoriya and Yagi exclaimed. It already been 3 days. But we haven't eaten or slept or anything like that. Midoriya said. Yep, while in here we won't need to eat, sleep, or use the restroom. It's like we are frozen in a moment of time. But the gains you achieve here will be carried to the outside. Wow, those power stars are really something, huh? Yagi said in awe. Yep, and you could see why we need to retrieve them. Mario said, receiving a nod from Yagi. Now then, let us start with bodybuilding exercises. Mario placed his hand on the warp pipe again. Now the blue void has returned and there was a giant sumo robot in front of them. Midoriya, you will charge at this robot and attempt to push it out of the ring. This should help build the muscles in your arms, legs and upper body. Mario explained. Midoriya nodded and took his place opposite of the bot. On Mario's command they charged at each other. This went on with Midoriya eventually defeating the robot with ease and Mario increasing the difficulty. After some time the blue void began to flicker, as though it was running out of power. This signaled that it was time to leave and all three of them entered the warp pipe and went back out into the world. Once they were back both Toshinori Yagi and Izuku Midoriya checked their phones. Holy CRP. You're right Mario, it's only been an hour since we entered the pipe. But it feels like a few days have passed. And look at you Midoriya. Yagi said, pointing out Midoriya's new muscles. You've grown so much, why I hardly recognize you. Thank you All Might and thank you Mario. Izuku bowed, only for the moment to be ruined by the rumbling of everyone's stomachs. Looks like our stomachs have caught up to us now that we are back in normal time. How about we go out to eat, my treat? Yagi offered. Mario and Izuku nodded gratefully and as they were walking up the steps Mario pulled Yagi to the side. Hey Yagi, I think with my medical expertise and the power star I might be able to do something about your injury if you're interested. Yagi pondered on this for a moment before he turned to Mario. Alright then Mario, if you think you can help. Okay then, I'll talk to Nezu about this and when the surgery will take place make sure you have your closest friends and family with you who know about your secret and one for all. Trust me, you'll need them. Yagi nodded before he and Mario rushed to catch up to Midoriya. UA exam testing grounds. The day of the makeup exam was here. Izuku Midoriya was nervous, the past 3 days seemed to have gone by so quickly. Flashback to the beach. Mario, Starlo, Toshinori Yagi and Izuku Midoriya were on the beach talking about the exam. Yagi and Midoriya wanted to go back into the warp pipe for more training before the exam, but Mario told them that they couldn't unfortunately. The power star they used the first time was still charging, Peach had used one for an unknown reason, and finally the third one was going to be used for Yagi's surgery later on today. Mario wanted to save the other two in case they needed them. Midoriya looked disappointed when Mario walked up to him and placed a hand on his shoulder. Hey don't worry about it Midoriya. You got a good enough handle on your quirk from the training we did the first time and all the training we've done so far you've only gotten better. So remember, you're the superstar. Mario said with a thumbs up. Midoriya cheered up after hearing this. That is when Yagi walked up to the duo. Mario's right Midoriya, you've made amazing strides in improving your control and in managing not hurting yourself. I'd say you're more than ready. Right. Midoriya replied while pumping his fist in the air. Flashback ends. Midoriya was looking around at the other candidates that were retaking the practical exam. He noticed that Bakugo and that tall kid with blue hair and glasses were not here. He felt relief from that fact when he noticed that same girl from before also here. Hi. Midoriya said while walking up to her. The girl turned to face him. Oh hey, you're that falling boy from before. The girl said, causing Midoriya to stumble at her words. Yeah, that's me. My name is Izuku Midoriya by the way. Midoriya said while extending his hand. My name's Ochiko Uraraka. Nice to meet you. Uraraka said shaking Midoriya's hand. I just wanted to say thanks for what you did last time. Oh no need to thank me. Uraraka said while blushing. Midoriya began to blush to the more he looked and spoke with her. That's when he noticed Uraraka was looking around. It looks like everyone is staring at us, or you actually. Uraraka said, prompting Izuku to turn around and notice everyone staring at him. Hey, isn't that the kid from the last test? You mean the one that didn't score any points? What's he doing back here? Should have stayed at home. I mean, I can't imagine he'll do any better. Does he even have a quirk? What a waste of the school's time. Those words began to get to Midoriya, but then he remembered Mario's and Yagi's words and all the training they did. He ignored the disapproving comments of his peers and focused on the test ahead. Man, that sucks. They don't even know your name and already they're putting you down. Uraraka said with a pout. It's alright. I didn't do so well last time. But, that just means I'll have to prove them wrong this time. Izuku said with a determined look in his eye. Uraraka was impressed and admired Izuku's determination. While she was doing that, the sound of a horn rang out and the gates to the testing grounds opened up. Izuku immediately powered up to 15% and shot in. What the? One of the examinees said in surprise. Could he always do that? Was that his quirk? Why didn't he do that the first time? All of the other kids were shocked and a voice came over the loudspeaker. What are you waiting for? That was the starting bell. Go. 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 The person on the other side said. With that, everyone began to run towards the city testing grounds. All the while Uraraka had a big smile on her face. Way to go, Midoriya. Uraraka thought. 15 minutes have passed and Midoriya was doing much better this time around. Smash! Midoriya yelled as he punched another robot to pieces. Thanks to the training from Mario and All Might, Midoriya could use 15% of One for All comfortably and even go as high as 25% while sustaining minor injuries. While this was going on, the teachers were watching from the observation booth above the city. It seems some of the candidates are trying much harder this time around. A block-shaped man said. This was Cementos, the cement hero and teacher at UA. They'd been given a second chance and most students know not to waste it. A man with a gas mask and cowboy hat said. This was Snipe, the sharp-shooting hero and also a teacher of UA. Especially that one. Snipe said, pointing at a monitor focusing on Midoriya. From bottom of the barrel to cream of the CRP. I must say, his progress gets me excited. Midnight said while grabbing herself. Control yourself, but I must admit his improvement is extraordinary. Aizawa said, watching the screen with intensity. Toshinori Yagi just watched the exam with a smile when Nezu pulled out a remote. Well then, shall we? The exams are now at the critical moment. Let's see if the kids are ready for it this time around. Snipe said while Nezu pushed a button on the remote. Back at the testing grounds, the ground began to shake and a giant 0-point robot rose out of the ground. Again. Seriously. One of the candidates yelled. If the test is the same as before, then it's obvious they would bring this robot back as well. Midoriya replied to the shocked student. Then it's obvious what we're going to do next. Run. Another candidate yelled as he was followed by many of the other kids. I could destroy it, but it's not worth any points. Best to ignore it and... That is when Izuku noticed some of the candidates frozen in fear right in front of the robot. Or not. Izuku said with a bead of sweat falling from his forehead. He immediately powered up to 20% and shot up towards the robot's head. Will 25% be enough? Should I go beyond the limits my body can handle? Midoriya thought to himself. That is when he noticed 3 large rocks fly by him and hit the robot in its shoulders and head, knocking it off balance. Midoriya looked down and saw Uraraka giving him a thumbs up. Izuku nodded back and turned towards the robot. 25% will be more than enough now. He thought as he pulled his fist back. Detroit smash. He yelled as he delivered the final blow to the robot. Izuku was falling towards the ground fast. That is when he pulled out a move he saw Mario do and spun around rapidly, slowing his descent enough to land safely on the ground. Wow, that was great, Midoriya! Uraraka yelled as she ran towards Midoriya. She stopped when she saw Midoriya trying to steady himself. You okay, Midoriya? She asked. Yeah, I'm fine. Just dizzy from spinning that fast. I need to ask Mario how he handles it later. Wait, did you say Mario? You don't mean a Mario with a red cap and mustache, do you? Yeah, I do. But wait, how do you know? Alright kiddos, you all did well. Now does anyone have any injuries that need to be tended to? Midoriya was interrupted by Recovery Girl. How about you, young man? Are you okay? Oh yeah, my arm might be a bit damaged but it's nothing too serious. Midoriya said as he held up his right arm. Let me see. Recovery Girl began to examine Midoriya's arm. Looks like you might have sprained a muscle or two in your right arm, but it's nothing to worry about. She said as she kissed his arm. Midoriya's arm began to glow for a few seconds before it stopped. Whoa, my arm is better. He said as he began to stretch his right arm. Well, that's how my quirk works, sonny. Here, have some candy. Recovery Girl then gave some strong candy to Midoriya. It doesn't look like your body can handle your quirk yet. No, not yet. But that's why I'm going to work 3 times as strong to MSTR it. Midoriya said with determination. That's great to hear. And here, some candy for you too, young lady. Recovery Girl said as she handed some candy to Uraraka. Oh, thank you. Uraraka replied as she grabbed the candy. Recovery Girl then went around and handed candy to everyone as she checked people for injuries. Izuku's apartment the next day. Midoriya was in his room waiting on the results. He was confident that he had passed this time around, but he was still a bit nervous about it. That is when his mother called for him. Izuku, sweetie, you got a letter. After grabbing the letter and returning to his room, Izuku just stared at the envelope. He was still afraid that he didn't get enough points to pass, but he pushed his fears aside and tore it open. When he did, a small disc fell out and began to project a hologram. I am here. The hologram of All Might said. All Might? Izuku said in shock. In the virtual flesh, to give you your results. That's right, as UA's newest teacher, I am personally going to tell you your results on the exam. Now on the written parts, your score was excellent, easily landing you in the top 10 of our academic scores. Now on to the practical parts. The hologram then revealed a scoreboard. You earned 40 points, nabbing you a spot at UA High. However, there was more to the exam than just combat, we were also watching how you conducted yourself during the exam. A panel of judges watches and gives points based on heroic actions, acts to save others no matter the consequences to yourself. After all, that's what makes a hero, and that is what my alma mater is all about. Training those who would risk their lives for the greater good. So we have rescue points. Izuku Midoriya, 60 points. Earning you first place on the exam. So welcome, Izuku Midoriya, you have made it, you are now part of the Hero Academia. Izuku couldn't hold back the tears and his excitement for passing. Soon his phone got a notification, as he read it his eyes widened. He quickly changed out of his sleepwear and rushed out the door. Izuku, where are you going? His mother asked. Something important came up, something for school. I'll be back. He said as he left the apartment. As he went down the stairs he saw Mario waiting for him. All Might is ready, are you? He asked Midoriya. Midoriya nodded, and with that Mario donned his wing cap, grabbed Midoriya and flew to the hospital the surgery was taking place at. When they got there Mario told him where the room was while he got changed. When Midoriya arrived to the waiting room he saw 4 other people. First was Principal Nezu, second was Detective Tsukachi, third was a short old man with a walking stick wearing a yellow hero outfit. This was Gran Torino, All Might's teacher. And finally a tall, thin man in a grey business suit, glasses, and with green hair. This was Sir Night Eye, All Might's former sidekick, and he was the first to approach Midoriya. So, you are the successor. Correct? He asked Midoriya while glaring at him. Why yes sir. Midoriya replied nervously. Night Eye looked Midoriya up and down before he turned away. I'm not convinced. You lack many qualities needed for a symbol of peace. There are many more worthy candidates than you. He coldly stated. Midoriya just stood there in shock before Gran Torino spoke up. Now's not the time or place Sasaki. Our new friend Mario said there's a chance for Toshinori to get better. And we are all needed for that. So let's try to get along for now, for his sake. With that said, Night Eye silently took his seat while Gran Torino addressed Midoriya. Sorry about that. He may not show it, but he's just as obsessed with All Might as you are. Oh, no worries mister. Gran Torino. I was Toshi's teacher back in the day. Taught him most, if not all of his tricks, and I'm looking forward to teaching you, young man. Midoriya just smiled and nodded before he also took a seat. It was a quiet and slow 3 hours before Mario came into the room. All right. It's time. He said as he motioned for everyone to follow him. When they got to the operating room, Peach and Luigi were there also in scrubs, and in front of them was All Might's bed covered by a curtain, and in front of it a power star. Okay, power stars work on the wills and wishes of those who control them. You all wish for All Might to get better, right? Mario asked, receiving nods from everyone there. Then pour your wish onto this star. Everyone then closed their eyes and began to wish for All Might's recovery on the star. The star glowed brighter and brighter, until the room was engulfed by a blinding light. And just as suddenly it appeared, the light vanished, and in Mario's hand was a now drained power star. As Mario put it away, Toshinori began to stir, until he sat up and pulled back the curtains, still in his skinny form. Well Toshi, did it work? Gran Torino asked. Toshinori began to take in deep breaths, and then he lifted up his gown. And the scar that was once on his stomach was gone. My body, it feels. Yagi then turned into his buff form. It feels as good as new. I am restored. Ha 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 ha. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Easy now Yagi, the operation may have been a success, but you should still take it easy for about a month, I say. So your body can get used to this again. Mario said. Gran Torino and Nezu walked up to Mario, Peach and Luigi to congratulate them on a job well done. That is when Yagi noticed Midoriya about to pull out one of his hairs. Hold up there, young man. Yagi said, getting everyone's attention. Just because my body is healed doesn't change anything about you or what I said about you, young Midoriya. I still believe you have the potential to become the next symbol of peace. And besides, I will have to retire eventually. So don't even think about handing over that power. Just know that now that my body is back in full force, your training will be much more intense. I hope you're ready. Yes, sir. Midoriya said with tears starting to form in his eyes. About that. Mario said, getting everyone's attention. Thanks to the power star, I was able to turn your embers into a rechargeable battery. Mario's statement caused confusion amongst everyone. Okay, let me explain. Those embers are now a permanent part of you. One for all will never truly leave you. 3 hours a day before you have to rest for 24 hours. Of course, working out and getting your natural buff form back can lengthen the time. But the opposite is also true, overexerting yourself can shorten it. And, since it is now a permanent part of you, pushing past your limits too many times can have serious drawbacks for your body. Thank you, Mario, that's good to know. All Might said with a thumbs up. Night Eye began to leave when All Might stopped him. Wait, Night Eye. Yes, All Might. Night Eye said as he turned around. There was a moment of silence between the two before Night Eye spoke up. I am happy for you All Might, truly I am. I bear no ill will or grudges from events in the past. But, I still don't agree with your choice of a successor. Night Eye said while glancing towards Midoriya. There have to be much better candidates out there. Like Mirko for example. Even if he is one of the best 3 students in UA, I see potential in Midoriya. All Might said in Midoriya's defense. Just another thing we don't agree on. Even so, about the things I have said and have done in the past, I would like to apologize for them. There is nothing to apologize for. Just another instance where we didn't agree. Still, if we get a chance, we should meet up at a cafe and catch up. Night Eye began to smile upon hearing this. I would like that. Now if you'll excuse me. Night Eye said as he began to walk away. With everything done, everyone went home with All Might taking Midoriya home. Figuring it would be best if he explained why Midoriya was out so late. When they got to his apartment All Might knocked on the door. Izuku, is that you? Izuku's mother called from inside before she opened the door. Where have you been young man? I was worried sick when you didn't answer your phone, gasped All Might. Hello there, is this your son? Yes it is. What happened? Did he get in trouble? Was there a villain attack again? Izuku's mother asked as her voice became more panic-ridden. No, it's just that your son scored the highest out of all the candidates of the UA entrance exams. And as such, I took a special interest in the boy and decided to give him some extra tips on being a hero. Oh my gosh, Izuku, I'm so proud of you. Izuku's mother said as she pulled him into a hug. Thanks Mom. Izuku said as he began to blush with embarrassment. Yes, now you see it is my fault we showed up so late. We got so caught up in hero talk I lost track of time. All Might explained with a laugh. Oh it's fine. After all, getting private lessons from the #1 hero. Why it's a dream come true for my son. I bet it is. Well, I best be off and I'll see you at UA young man. All Might said giving a thumbs up to Midoriya who gave a thumbs up back. The next day at the Izuku's middle school. Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo were in the principal's office. I must say, to have not 1 but 2 students from our school going to UA. Especially you Midoriya, talk about a miracle. The principal said as Midoriya turned away from Bakugo's glare. Later on when they were outside Bakugo took Midoriya to a secluded alleyway and shoved and held him against the wall. What did I say you DMN nerd? I was supposed to be the first and only student from this crappy school to get into UA and now you ruined it. Didn't I tell you to not even apply? Kaken. Midoriya said as he grabbed Bakugo's wrist and began to pull it away. What the hell? He's never been like this before. Bakugo thought. 2 people who I look up to told me that I could be a hero. So I'm going to UA whether you like it or not and you can't stop me. Midoriya said in defiance. Bakugo just got even angrier. PSS off. Bakugo yelled as he threw a fist at Midoriya, but Midoriya had caught his fist and used the momentum to throw Bakugo against the wall. What the? I won't be your punching bag anymore Kaken. And you will just have to deal with it. Midoriya said with defiance in his eyes. Bakugo just glared with anger and hatred while he held his sore wrist. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author The Crimson Yinglet on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video, till then goodbye.